What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I've owned my Yamaha R6 for 2 years now. So today we're going to talk about a long-term review of this bike, see what it takes to maintain the bike, and see how the bike has treated me so far. Let's go. Man, would you look at her? I absolutely love this bike, man. Every time I bring her out, I'm like, I can't believe I actually own this thing. But you know, we got to start out with a mandatory sound check. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Man, I love this thing. As of today, I've owned this bike for slightly over 2 years now, and I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having a good time, I guess. This bike has treated me so well, guys. Over the course of 2 years, I can say I have no complaints in terms of the maintenance of the bike, in terms of the engine of the bike, in terms of the performance of the bike. I've got all the performance that I've wanted out of this bike. I could still even make it faster if I really wanted to, but I've been using this bike mainly as a street bike, quote-unquote daily, and I haven't been ripping it around on the track like how the R6 is. So this review is more of a street-friendly type of review in case you wanted an R6 just for daily use, just for fun, and not really something if you were to rip it apart on the track all the time. Uh-oh, there's the cop. Let's be nice to the cop. Let's see if he's still behind me. Oh, he's still over there. In terms of daily use, the Yamaha R6 is a perfect bike. I mean, you have all the power that you need to rip it around on the streets. It's not as small as a 400cc bike or a 300cc bike, and it's not so aggressive as a 1000cc bike. It's that perfect middle ground. The best part is, since it's Japanese engineering, the bike is super reliable. I've had no issues with the maintenance. I make sure to keep up with the maintenance on this bike. Oil changes every couple thousand miles, cleaning my chain, tightening my chain as needed to. And as long as you keep up with the maintenance that a bike needs, it's not going to give you any problems, especially Yamahas. The motor is very reliable. I've even got very used to the aggressive seating position that this bike has. I complain about it here and there, but that would be literally the only complaint that I have. You get used to it. I've been riding Yamaha R6s for my whole life now, so I'm very used to this seating position. The power delivery, perfect. You don't get as much power in the beginning of the power band, but I have aftermarket sprockets and chains on it, so I get power throughout the whole power band, so I don't always need to be above 10k, 12k RPMs to get power out of the bike. However, there is one thing that annoys me about this bike, which is taking off these fairings. Taking off these fairings and putting on fairings is such a pain. I feel like with this generation of the R6, the fairings are so complicated. I mean, that's why it looks how it looks, and it looks very aggressive. But the fairings are so complicated to take off that, man, even doing a coolant flush takes forever. That's also something you get used to more and more as you start working on your bike by yourself. This generation of the R6, the 08 to 2016, doesn't have any of the newer generation electronics, like traction control, ABS, a nice dashboard. Whoa! Oh my gosh, why are these cars wilding out? But this generation doesn't really need all those electronics. This was the epitome of racing back in the day. Now the technology has got crazy. This bike always is true to my heart. Look, this guy was racing and now he's over here. Congrats, my guy. That's why you don't need to speed through traffic all the time, even if you're in a car or a bike. But even without all the electronics, this bike is still very smooth. I think when you're a beginner rider, it's better to ride on a bike without all the electronics on it, because you get used to how a normal bike feels. You understand how the mechanics of the bikes work. you need to understand how to shift gears up and down before you use a quick shifter. It's just too easy that way. But I understand the newer bikes are a lot safer with the tech that they have. ABS is very nice to have on bikes so you don't lock out your brakes. Traction control is nice to have on bikes. Or you just learn to ride within your own limits slowly. When I think about it, actually, this bike is almost 10 years old now. That's crazy. 2016 was a long time ago. We almost in 2025. Oh my gosh. Makes me feel old. Man, it's all good though, man. This bike is always going to be close to my heart. I have a very hard time detaching from this bike. One of my favorite parts about this bike is the look of this bike. I mean, the aggressive front headlights, the huge front headlights, especially how I have them modded now. Oh my gosh, I don't think any of the newer bikes compare, because all the newer bikes are more track oriented. And I get it, technology allows the bikes to become more aerodynamic, so they have a very aggressive front end where you can't really see the light as much. But I really love this huge light that this bike has in the front. The old generation of bikes, this one, the CBR, the S1K, they all used to have very aggressive headlights at the front end. Now they just don't. I still like them though. And not gonna lie, I still want me either an R1M or an S1K. We'll see, I'm gonna have to make that happen. In terms of the power of this bike, some of you guys might think that it's a 600cc, so it's not as powerful as a 1000cc. But honestly, you don't need a 1000cc bike to be dailying out on the streets like that. Was that a whole weight on the ground? That was a 45-pound plate on the ground. Who hit in the gym on the freeway, man? That was dangerous as heck. Compared to a 1000cc bike, yes, this bike is a lot slower. But it depends on what you're using it for. Especially as a beginner, you probably don't need anywhere even close to a 600cc bike. You'll be just fine on a 300, 400cc bike if you have no experience on motorcycles at all. If you do have some experience on bikes, 600cc might be the way to go. When you hop on a 1000cc bike though, man, them things are so fast, you'll never want to get onto another bike ever again. So be careful, that's all I'm saying. Be careful and take care of your health, man. That's what matters the most. As you guys know, I've done a lot of mods to this bike over the last 2 years. Literally changed every single part of this bike. The bike did not used to look anything like this when I got it, and I love it. I love customizing it to be how I want it to be. The white has really changed the whole theme of everything that I do, and it's helped me spread that positivity that I want to spread to you guys. From customizing the headlights, to the fairings, to the seats, everything has been done on this bike. Even exhaust modifications. There's still a couple more engine modifications that I could do to this bike, but I've been kind of waiting on them a little bit because I feel like I get all the power that I want out of this bike. I'm not one to rip it around on the streets and push my limits all the time while I'm on there. Like today, I'm just cruising, just having a good time, enjoying life instead of trying to escape life. I feel like a lot of us try to escape our lives when we're on our motorcycles. I'm just here enjoying the vibes today, man, talking to you guys. This R6 has given me all the power that I wanted to. I think a 600cc is perfect for the street. It'll give you the power if you really need it, and you're still able to shift through the gears during the streets if you want to, if it makes you feel a little better about yourself. On a 1000cc bike, you'll be stuck in first gear everywhere. The best part about this bike is that it's barely given me any issues since I've got it. Shout out to Japanese engineering for that. A lot of these S1Ks, European bikes, Ducatis, they're known to give so many issues and maintenance problems, especially with the technology on newer bikes. They have a lot of issues in them, and it scares me because I want to get myself a European bike as well too. But if it has so many tech problems because of all the tech on it, I just get turned off a little bit. That's why I'm glad that this bike has literally no technology on it at all. It's very mechanical. Allows you to understand how a bike really feels. I do have a steering dampener on here though, so when I do want to go fast, I can turn it up a little bit and the bike will stay very stable. That's nice to have, because newer bikes, they come with stabilizers on there. This bike doesn't. I would recommend getting yourself a stabilizer on your bike. Make sure you're nice and locked in when you're on the freeway. this Yamaha R6 is actually starting to become rare now. Since they discontinued the whole R6 in 2020, this exact chassis of the bike has become a rarity. And I love it. Makes me want to keep it even more now. But at the end of the day, if you treat your bike nicely, the bike will treat you nicely as well. A lot of the newer bikes with their tech issues and stuff like that, it happens because the riders ride super crazy and they push the bike's limits right when they get them, and they don't take it slow and chill and let the bike breathe a little bit. As long as you're taking care of the bike, you'll be okay. Make sure to maintain it properly, especially with an R6. Do the regular oil changes. Make sure your tires have enough air in them. Make sure your chain isn't loose, and make sure you're cleaning your chain, and you'll be all good to go. I do want to bring another bike to this channel though, so let me know what you guys thinking, man. R1M or S1K? But as always, make sure to love your own life first, be grateful for what you guys have, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!